Hey, we're about to start the show, and you know the drill. If you've been here before and you have something important to share, please add a capital letter Q to your comment. And if you are watching live for the first time, please let us know by writing the word new, and we'll give you a nice little welcome. Enjoy the broadcast. Okay, hang on. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Bringing levels up. Okay, that should be right around where I want to be. Hello, how is everybody doing today? This is Coffee and Headlines, where it's all about connections between ourselves as a community of English-speaking locals living here in Puerto Vallarta, connections with our city, with our state, with our culture, with our country, with our way of life, connection with whatever it is that is on your mind, questions you may have, discussions and conversations you may want to have. If any of that floats your boat, then you've come to the right place. Today is Saturday, May 4th, and the news, you know, as I say frequently, sometimes there's a lot of stuff, sometimes there's not so much. And we had a couple of days this week where we didn't have a lot of news, but today we have a lot of news, or we have enough news to keep ourselves amused for the next half hour. So hopefully you have your favorite beverage nearby. I've gone through 3 of these already, so I'm good to go. Good to go. Yes, that is funny, I suppose. Okay, so let's get started. And we have, first and foremost, 2 news about Crocs, one with a happy ending, one not so much. So let's do the first news first. Yes, this is me picking my nose, which is a good cue for me to do this, at least for a little while. First, the good news: a large male crocodile was sighted and reported along Paseo de la Marina, not far from the Westin Hotel. Once authorities arrived and captured the specimen, they found it in good health and relocated it to the Ameca River, and that was a happy ending. Thank you very much. But this other crocodile was less fortunate, as he was run over by a vehicle last night in Nuevo Vallarta. Unfortunately, there were no witnesses of the actual incident, and by the time authorities arrived, he was pronounced dead due to head injuries. And I cannot explain why this bums me out, but I don't know. When it has to do with animals, it always bums me out. And that's just me, I suppose. And then there's this one. This is David N., as they usually do in local news. They don't want to identify the actual person. But this is the gentleman that was driving that messed up video police chase yesterday. And apparently, as we say in Mexico, tiene cola que le pisen. So let me explain that before we continue with our news item. the phrase tiene cola que le pisen, tiene cola que le pisen, means that a person has a tail that somebody might step on. And what it actually means is that a person that has cola que le pisen has been a bad person in the past. So that's exactly what happened with this gentleman. Apparently, he was wanted by authorities back, or as far back as 2015, for stealing parts. And apparently the chase from last night was prompted by the fact that he and his wife had been arguing about his infidelity. And he decided to take it out on her. Then he took it out on a policeman. Then he took it out on several vehicles that he damaged during the chase. And then, of course, his own vehicle, which, if you've seen any of the videos, by the time he was captured by the authorities, I don't think his red vehicle will ever work again. And he is now behind bars awaiting sentencing. And speaking of someone who has a tail one could easily step on, Ramón Guerrero, mayoral candidate for the Movimiento Ciudadano Party, met with communities south of Puerto Vallarta and promised, among other things, to reopen the path that leads to the set where the Night of the Iguana was filmed, which would result in one more tourism destination for the South Shore. And that's great. Yay. I mean, of course, the path that leads to the Night of the Iguana set could be reopened, but the property where the Night of the Iguana was filmed is private property, and as I understand it, it has been in legal disputes for more than a decade. I remember I visited the set probably about 18, 19 years ago, and it was already in disrepair. Not to mention the fact that, I mean, it's been a long time since Night of the Iguana was filmed, and I wonder just how many people still remember the movie. Anyhow, this is what Ramón Guerrero is promising, and maybe it will come to fruition, maybe not. What do you know? And speaking of upcoming elections, I found this really fascinating this morning. There are 3,208 Mexican citizens imprisoned in Mexico and awaiting sentencing. And for the first time in Mexico's history, these individuals will not only be able to exercise their right to vote in the upcoming elections, they will be the first to do so. And this got my attention because I don't know how this is handled in other countries, so I thought it would be interesting to share with you. And now I think we can get into the weather. Yes, but first, how about this? What's the deal with classical music? It turns out it's not all serious business. Delve into the chuckle-worthy compositions deliberately crafted to tickle your funny bone. Meet performers who thrive on adding a dash of humor to the classical scene. And let's not forget those unexpected hiccups during performances that turn into comedy gold. Join me for What's So Funny, where we will explore the lighter side of classical music because, well, why not? Grab your tickets for a laughter-filled evening this Thursday at the Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work. It's a steal at 300 pesos per person. Hurry, seats are as limited as a virtuoso's rage. I do keep myself amused around here, don't I? Anyhow, today is a perfect day to start a second family in another town, says snarky weatherman. I don't think that Luna would approve. It is 26 degrees. Humidity is 77%. We are getting there. We are getting closer to balmy weather. 77% humidity right now. Let's take a look at what the weather forecast has in store for us. It says here that today will be a humid day with partly cloudy skies throughout the day, a high of 28 and a low of 21. And then tomorrow, Sunday, will be another humid day with mostly cloudy skies throughout the day, a high of 28 and a low of 21 again. And then we'll start the work week on Monday with another humid day with mostly cloudy skies throughout the day, with a high of 28 and a low of 21 once again. So we are stuck with that weather for the whole weekend. This morning I looked out my window and I looked at the cloud coverage, and it had that feel of soon it's gonna rain. And speaking of keeping myself amused around here, I am still mindlessly making all kinds of little crochet gift bags just so that I can run out of yarn, that I have leftover yarn. And but I actually made something useful. Show and tell. Da, 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 da. This is a little pouch. In fact, I haven't even gotten rid of all the loose ends. This is a little pouch that I made for my wireless headphones. There you go. And I made it right to the right size, so I felt really proud of myself. And enough about me. So the next one that I have to share with you, this is so funny, because here at Coffee and Headlines, we love to eye roll. We love to roll our eyes whenever we hear stories of foreign tourists that come to Mexico and do things that may seem okay back home, and then they get here and they realize that, well, maybe they don't realize, and that's part of the problem. You know, that some things that you do at home are frowned upon when you do them here. But it's not only about foreign tourists coming to Puerto Vallarta, because as you will see now, Mexican visitors do stupid things elsewhere. The popular and talented banda group El Recodo is touring through Japan, or at least offered one concert in Shibuya, which is a major commercial and finance center in Tokyo. But they may have thought they were in Mazatlan because they decided to perform an impromptu mini concert right on the street, to the puzzlement of passersby who proceeded to whip out their cell phones and record the whole shenanigan. Some danced to the music, while others were more like, what the fuck is going on? You see, impromptu Mazatlan-style outdoor concerts are not allowed in Japan. So the famous band El Recodo was quickly stopped by the police. We don't know if they got a friendly warning or they were put away. But what we know is, when in Rome, do what the Romans do. Our friend Lucy from Hecho a Mano has announced their next pop-up art show. Oh, there's me blocking the important information. Heaven forbid. There you go. Our friend Lucy from Hecho a Mano has announced their next pop-up art show to take place on May 15 from 4 to 9 p.m. at Captain Don's. Captain Don's. Hopefully Lucy will join us in the spotlight between now and then to tell us what will be new, exciting, or different about this upcoming event. And in a similar fashion, Carmen and Claudia from Oculto are announcing a special 3rd anniversary celebration for their Oculto project to take place on Friday, May 24 at 7:30 p.m. I hope Carmen will join us in the spotlight as well and tell us all the details about this special event. And everything is ready for Vallarta Pride 2024, says the headline on this Vallarta Independiente article. Pride this year will begin on May 20th and end on the 26th. The article outlines some of the activities that will take place, which include parties and conferences and parades, along with a Rainbow Pride running competition. And before I get into the Chit Chat section, I have sad news to share with you. And this I found out about this morning quite unexpectedly. Our dear cluster member friend Mateo Schubring from Mexico City has passed away. And I found out about this as I was browsing through Facebook, and I saw this post from the National Fine Arts and Literature Institute in Mexico City, announcing that Mateo, as he liked to be called, Matthew Schubring, who was a concert performer for the Bellas Artes Orchestra for 40 years, passed away some 5 days ago. And and I believe this is the first time that this has happened, at least to me, that a cluster member um, passes on. I remember and will always remember Mateo fondly. He used to make at least 2 trips per year to Puerto Vallarta, and that's how I met him. He's one of the few people that I could have really interesting conversations about classical music, particularly what was going on in Mexico City. I met him during one of his trips. He used to come down here for Pride, and he used to come down here during the winter time. And in fact, the last time we got together was in January. We had a nice Indian dinner, which of course he paid for. He loved to sponsor our dinners and get-togethers, and although we didn't get to know each other very well, he was a part of our community, and as such, he will be missed and he will be remembered. He was a tireless musician, had a lot of students, and I've seen some of the mentions that he's had in this post by students, family, and friends, and I thought you should know. And with that said, let us turn over to Chit Chat just to see what else is going on in your minds. And let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Good mornings, good mornings. And what else we have? What? Albert is wearing long pants and a jacket. Culture shock. I love it. I refuse to wear long pants wherever I go, except when there's absolutely no choice but to do so. Boom, boom, boom. I was outside the Iglesia de la Santa Cruz last night for the banda and fireworks. It was spectacular. Yes, that's wonderful, Pat. I've always said it whenever anybody or any neighborhood is doing patron saint fiestas, it is a good thing to attend. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, and Pat was also treated to seeing Hedwig this weekend. If you appreciate innovative theater or rock and roll, this is for you. I understand there's a production of Hedwig and the Angry Inch taking place here in Puerto Vallarta. Wouldn't it be nice if we heard from one of the performers and they would come to the spotlight and tell us all about it? One of these days, I tell you, one of these days, if we have our way, the spotlight will be an essential part of anyone's promotional strategy here in Puerto Vallarta with your help and your support. Let's see what else we have. I see the fields for the crocodile that was killed. Of course, it has no defenses. Jonathan asks, whatever happened to the Gabi restaurant affair? Did that get resolved? I actually don't know. I have not seen anything else published about it. So, whenever I see something about it, we will definitely talk about it because I am curious as well. Boom, 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 boom. What? And what is this supposed to mean, Eric? Even in a rural pueblo, the Jehovah's Witness proselytes. Oh my God, that's a big word. But they found you. Okay. I don't understand. I don't understand the P word. I've seen it before. Anyhow, I hope you're okay. I hope you're okay from the whatever it is that's chasing you. Let's see. Nice. Oh, Brian, who's my crochet friend, he comments on this. I love it. Thank you very much. Do-do-do-do. Rita says, hey, that's the truck that Bunny and I were on for Batucada Pride 2019. You know what I want to do about Pride? I want to find out who does the Batucada, who does like all the drumming, because I see that they have so much fun, and I would love to do some drumming, although I've never drummed in my life, but I suppose I have some rhythm. That's just me. Sherry asks about Mateo. Did you know he was sick? I actually don't know if he suffered from chronic or of diseases or if this was unexpected. I will say that when we met, he had a really bad cold. And in fact, I remember this happened right before I went to San Sebastián del Oeste with my friends in January, because when I went to San Sebastián, I had a really bad cold. And I thought maybe Matthew gave it to me, maybe not. But I really, really don't know if there was a prevailing condition. But it is sad news for me. Rita chimes in. He always made interesting and kind comments, seemed like a real gentleman, a real loss. He was the sweetest man. He always brought presents for me. And he was just a nice person to know. Thank you very much for that, Pat. I do have wonderful memories of Mateo, and I'm sure that if you knew him, you would as well. Let's see what else. It's a roaming church missionaries trying to convert the population. Not to be confused with the roaming politicians that are standing at every intersection in Puerto, well, not every intersection, but a lot of important intersections in Puerto Vallarta, trying to convert us to vote for them. I hear your pain, Eric, and I hope they go away. And with that said, I think we've reached the end of today's broadcast. It is Saturday. I have plans to watch the Seinfeld Pop-Tart movie with some friends, and I'm looking forward to that. I hope you have great plans for yourself. I hope you'll have something to be happy about this weekend, and I hope you'll share it with your friends and loved ones. For me, it's a combo of a mellow weekend and a combo of an activity-full weekend. I have lots of prepping to do for my next music appreciation presentation. And Luna has some mysterious plans for me that she refuses to reveal. I shall keep you posted. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you again on Monday. Take care.